Good evening, folks. Thanks for joining me again. I mentioned in my last video for my lettuce table, which is doing pretty well, by the way. See, those are getting fairly large, that I'd be working on a flood and drain system. So I went ahead and worked on that this evening. I had a little bit of time. Just going to go through it for those of you who are interested. Thanks to folks out there who have kind of shown the way on this through YouTube, and this is just kind of my take on it. Very similar to a lot of those out there. Special thanks to University of Hawaii's website. They had a great document on how to create a bell siphon that really did help mine out. So to start with, of course, you can see my table here, Pallet Construction, one of my favorites. I got to repurpose that from the local newspaper. They just throw them out back, threw a couple of legs on it. This bin that you're looking at right here, this came from Lowe's. It was about $13. It was located over in the building goods section near where the masonry tubs are. It's an all-purpose tub. What I did with it is I drilled a hole for a piece of 1-inch PVC to fit through, and I created a gasket. There's one on top, there's one on bottom, but just out of a sheet of rubber, also from Lowe's, about $1 for that. I've got a male connector here that goes through, and then basically on the bottom here, it's kind of hard to see, but connects to a female adapter, again rubber gasket on that side, and then you can see the bend in the PVC pipe where we've got returned back down into the catch basin, which I am going to have to return to Lowe's and purchase something larger. This one right here is only 18 gallons, and I find that in order to fill this tub to the appropriate height and then drain it, I just don't really have the volume. So I need to get something maybe 25 gallons or so just to take care of evaporation. Right now, when it does a flood and drain cycle, I end up with almost the pump shutting off from lack of water. So anyways, onto that pump. The pump came off eBay. Second one I bought from this gentleman for about $12, which is a great deal if you're in the market for one. I don't have his eBay user ID, but if you search for refurbished Smart Pond pumps, he's got a fair number of them, and they've worked great so far. For $12, you can't beat it. So anyways, that comes up from the back, a 1/2-inch piece of PVC pipe to a T, and on each side here I've got a ball valve, and then I return down into the basin here. And the point behind this is just to kind of help me make sure that I'm getting water on both sides. I do need to level this whole contraption out a little bit later on. In the middle here on the bell siphon, you can see I did flare out the standpipe. That did help. I was having problems creating a good vacuum. So I took a torch, as you can see, and kind of scarred it up here, but I heated it up and then used something that had a conical end just to kind of flare it out. Now, to go with that, we have the actual bell. This is 1-inch PVC, and so this is 2-inch PVC with a cap. This point right here where the cap meets is exactly the same height as where the top of the bell siphon is. And then down at the bottom I came up about 5/8 just to basically give me an opportunity to break suction. And so that'll rest right on top. And then to keep my media out, I have a piece of 3-inch PVC. This is all left over from the other project, and I just ran it through the table saw there. Keep the media out, but allow water to get through. And so that'll rest right over the top. Now, I'm not going to put any media in it tonight, but I did get some vermiculite to start with. It seemed economical and a good weight. And I'll fill this pretty much to the top, and the deal is, with the bell siphon, it should start to drain when it comes within 3 inches from the top. And that's about where I want to start with, and then I can make adjustments from there. Alright, so just a quick fast forward here. We are now filling the bin up with water, and in just a moment it's going to hit the point where the bell siphon kicks in. What happens is, again, we've got a 1/2-inch water line coming in, we've got a 1-inch water line coming out. So once it hits the top of the little flared part from earlier in the video, it'll begin to create a suction, a vacuum, and it'll pull water out. It'll start as a little bit of a trickle, and it'll get going pretty good after just a couple of seconds. And as a result, it'll drain the bin before the pump is able to refill it. And so by properly cycling it, we can have periods of time where we flood, and then we drain, and then we start the cycle over and over again, which works well for different types of plants. In just a moment here, we should hear the siphon kick in. while we're waiting on it, I want to say thank you guys for watching these videos. I enjoy making them, so hopefully you enjoy watching them. Again, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and you'll see more videos and updates as we go. So I know it's kind of dark under there, but you'll see we got the trickle going and opens up into a full flood. Lost a little bit of daylight there, so you know, it makes it hard to see, but I'm sure you can hear it's a pretty good flood right there. There we go. And so now as that's refilling the bin, we watch the level start to drop on the basin above, and once it gets to the bottom, what'll happen is the siphon, and I'm just going to go ahead and speed this process up. You'll see, well actually I'll go ahead and let it go, but you'll see what happens is once it hits those holes at the bottom, it's just going to go ahead and break the suction, make a little gurgling noise, and then at that point in time the siphon's broken, so that it allows the basin to start refilling. You'll see some videos, people's bell siphons do utilize a snorkel. This one I haven't had to use one, but it has been critical to have that L-shaped joint there with the two elbows. For whatever reason, until I did that, it didn't work. I tried to do my testing with a straight piece of pipe, and it did not function, but as soon as I put that on there, everything was good. So again, University of Hawaii's website, great for bell siphons. That was one of their troubleshooting tips, and made all the difference in this case.